Morning, all. All right, so 10 games tonight in the NHL. I've simplified the preview quite a bit today because we're in the final week. We're in the final week. We're going to be able to go over all the stats when the seasons are done for everybody. And yeah, so tonight we have 7 games starting at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. Then there's a 2 hour window before the next game gets started. So it's not that bad, really. And then we have 2 other later games as well. So we have six, 2 that are kind of middle and 2 that are kind of later, but it all depends on which time zone you're in. So 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Buffalo and the New York Rangers. For the Buffalo Sabres, they are trying to get an X next to their name. I put an X next to the teams that have clinched a playoff spot. For Buffalo, they're 39, 32, and 7. Their last 10 games are 6, 3, and 1. They are 6 points out of the playoffs behind the New York Islanders. They're going to need some help if they're going to make it. That help won't come to them from the Rangers. The Rangers are 47, 21, and 12. Their last 10 games are 6, 2, and 2. They are 3 points behind Carolina for first in the division. They are 2 points behind New Jersey. And with the recent play of both Carolina and New Jersey, there may still be a chance. It's a slim one, but it's there. The same kind of slim chance that Buffalo's holding on to right now of making the playoffs. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start as well between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Ottawa Senators. Carolina 50, 20, and 9. Their last 10 games, they're 5, 4, and 1. They're 1 point ahead of New Jersey. They're 3 points ahead of the New York Rangers in the overall standings. So, yeah, this is a big time for them. New Jersey's not playing tonight, so this is a game they have to win. For Ottawa, they're 38, 35, and 7. Their last 10 games are 4, 4, and 2. And despite being mathematically eliminated, we saw against Tampa Bay, Ottawa could still be dangerous. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the New York Islanders, a team looking for an X next to their name against the Washington Capitals. Now, Pittsburgh has the night off, so Pittsburgh fans will be watching to see what the Islanders and Florida get done tonight and rooting for Toronto and Washington, respectively. For the Islanders, they're 41, 30, and 9. Their last 10 games are 6, 3, and 1. They are tied with Florida in a wild card spot. They are 1 point ahead of Pittsburgh. So again, a really tight race in the East. On the Washington side, they're 34, 36, and 9. They're 1, 7, and 2 in their last 10. And just playing out the string in Washington. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, San Jose and Winnipeg renew their rivalry. And it's interesting because wearing a Winnipeg jersey, well, that seems like a cop-out. San Jose doesn't have a very good record. Yes, but they've beaten Winnipeg both times they've played them. San Jose's 22, 41, and 16. Their last 10 games are 3, 5, and 2. They've been playing better since they got that win over Winnipeg last week. Winnipeg 44, 32, and 3 overall. Their last 10 games are 6 and 4. They are 1 point ahead of the Calgary Flames. They are 3 points ahead of Nashville. So what you're hoping for if you're a Jets fan is a win over San Jose and that Nashville goes into Calgary and wins in regulation. That would really solve a lot of problems for Winnipeg. And yeah, and then you can start thinking about how the playoffs are going to look for them. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Toronto and the Florida Panthers. These games are always fun. Toronto, of course, has clinched a playoff spot. Florida has not. Florida was the other jersey I thought about wearing for the preview, and I thought, eh. So Toronto 47, 21, and 11 is their overall record. Last 10 games, they're 5, 3, and 2. On the Florida side, they're 42, 31, and 7 overall. In their last 6 games, they're 6 and 4. But it's worthy of note that those 6 wins have been their 6 most recent games. So it's been a hot and cold season for Florida, but if they can keep this hot streak going, they'll get themselves a playoff spot. They're tied with the Islanders and 1 point clear of Pittsburgh. So Islanders, Florida, Pittsburgh, one of them will miss the playoffs, and tonight's games may give us a good idea of who's going to miss. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the Dallas Stars and the Detroit Red Wings. Dallas, of course, having clinched a playoff spot last week. They're 44, 21, and 14 on the season. Their last 10 games, they are 7, 2, and 1. They're tied with Colorado atop the division, and they're 2 points ahead of the Minnesota Wild. For Detroit, they're playing out the string. They're 35, 34, and 11, or 35, 34, and 10 overall. They are 5, 4, and 1 over their last 10 games. 9 Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, the Minnesota Wild in against Chicago. So for the Wild, the dream of being the top team in the division is probably done. They're 2 points back of both Colorado and Dallas, but hey, you want to end on a good note, right? So they're 45, 24, and 10 overall their last 10 games. They are 6, 2, and 2. Again, 2 points back of both Colorado and Dallas. For Chicago, 25, 48, and 6. Their last 10 games are 1 and 9. the air's really been let out of the sails for Chicago over the last couple of weeks, and that's saying something. They were a team that was already near the bottom of the league, and now they look like a pretty good bet to finish at the bottom of the league, even though Columbus is right there with them. 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific start between Nashville and Calgary. So this is the big one. If you're a Flames fan, you are cheering for San Jose tonight and hoping for a regulation win over the Nashville Predators. You don't want them hanging around. Nashville 40-31-8 is their overall record. Their last 10 games are 5-5. They're 3 points back of Winnipeg. They're 2 points back of Calgary. The Flames 37-32-16. Last 10 games 6-3-1, and as previously stated, 1 point back of a playoff spot and 2 points clear of Nashville. So a win by Calgary, as I said, especially in regulation, combined with a loss in regulation by Winnipeg, and Calgary's right in that spot. 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, the Seattle Kraken and the Arizona Coyotes. The Seattle Kraken, 45-26-8. Probably tired of seeing the Coyotes. This is the third time in a week. Last 10 games, they're 7-2-1, but they've won 4 in a row. 2 of those 4 being against the Coyotes. They're 2 points back of the LA Kings in the overall standings. Arizona 39-13. So I've actually given them a better record than what they have at this stage of the season. Well, that's not a red marker, but that's fine. 28-39-13 is their record. Last 10 games, they're 1-7-2. They're coming off of an overtime win over Anaheim. And for Seattle, yeah, I mean, I saw with the power rankings, there were some complaints about Seattle not moving up more, but 2 of those 4 wins have been against Arizona. So, and now they get Arizona tonight. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start between Vancouver and the LA Kings. The Kings, their hopes for winning the division are dashed, but their hopes for catching Edmonton, they're not completely dashed yet. But what they really have to worry about is Seattle right behind them. So for Vancouver, they're 36-36-7 over their last 10 games. They're 5-3-2. The LA Kings, 45-25-10. They beat Vancouver last week. We'll see what they do this week. They're 5-5 in their last 10, and they're just the 2 points ahead of Seattle. So if Seattle wins in regulation, or, well, I guess wins at all, they get the 2 points. And LA loses in regulation, we might have ourselves a little bit of a scuffle to decide who finishes third in the division, when it didn't look like that would happen as recently as, 7-10 days ago. Looked like LA was at least going to be top 3, if not the leader of the division. But there you go. Let me know your winners in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.